Hi, I'm Gabi from Ray Studios, and today I'm going to be reviewing the UURIG cage for the Sony A6400. So UURIG recently released the rig cage for Sony A6000 series of cameras. But the camera that makes the most out of this cage is the Sony A6400, because it will allow you to flip up the screen while having a microphone mount right here on the side. So besides being able to mount a mic on top while seeing yourself on the flip up screen, it also gives you a great deal of protection, a better grip, and the ability to customize your camera by adding a top or side handle. There are also 1/4-inch mounts all over this cage, which will allow you to mount all sorts of accessories into your camera, like LED lights and monitors. There are also a whole bunch of 1/4-inch mount screw at the bottom, which basically will allow you to offset the way you mount your camera on a tripod, making sure that you don't block the battery and SD compartment, being able to change batteries and SD card while the camera is mounted on a tripod without having to take it out of the tripod, take the battery and then mount again. Like, that is not all enough. There is also a 1/8-inch mount for mounting directly into a monopod, and the entire base of the cage is an Arca Swiss plate compatible, so you don't even need a quick release plate to put this on a tripod, as long as your tripod have an Arca Swiss mount. I personally got the model with a wooden grip here on the side, and that doesn't only vastly improve the grip in your camera, it also looks gorgeous. I gotta say, the A6400, it is a very capable camera. It have amazing 4K, and I use it a lot for work. Sometimes I use it for shooting events, I use it for shooting videos, and sometimes when clients see you with such a small camera, they kind of feel bad. Like, they might think that you look very unprofessional in a way, because for clients, big is better or big is professional. They don't really know about specs or which camera is good, which camera is not. They just think big is better. So that also helps you making this camera looks a little bit bigger and a lot more professional looking feel, and you know, it's basically looks better, looks more expensive, well, it looks more fancy. So that's another plus for this rig cage. Now I have to talk about the elephant in the room. No, not this elephant. What I'm talking about is that there is already a cage for the A6400 that is very popular. That is the small rig cage. As a matter of fact, I have this cage till not too long ago. I sold it just before they announced the A6400 with the flip up screen. So before, when I was using that cage on my A6300, I feel like it wasn't that necessary. Sometimes I would rather use the battery grip, which by the way I review, I put the link somewhere in there. But now that the A6400 have a flip up screen, well, both these cages, the UURIG and the small rig, are quite popular. But you may be wondering, okay, which one is better? What are the differences? So from using that cage for over a year and having this UURIG already a couple of weeks, I can tell you a few differences that immediately come to my mind when I see them. So first is the grip here on the side is rounded, which makes it a hell lot more comfortable to hold it when you're gonna holding the camera with a big lens on it, or when you're holding the camera for long periods of time. It feels better on the hand. Another thing that I like is that if you are not having very big lenses, you can remove the cage without having to remove the lens. That was a problem that I always have with the small rig cage. That's because, let me see if I can show you here. Basically, the small rig cage here have another piece of metal covering the camera. I don't know why it's there, but yeah, basically if you wanna take the cage, you first need to remove the lens. With the UURIG, well, that's not needed. You can just remove the cage while the lens is still on the camera. And you may be thinking why you remove and put the cage back and forward. Well, that's because sometimes I use the gimbal for long periods of time, and having a cage on top of the gimbal, that adds the weight. And I don't want to be carrying extra weight when using a gimbal that is already heavy and make me tired. So when I'm doing video work and I'm using a gimbal, I like to get rid of the cage, use it just the camera, strip it down to just camera and lens, and that's it. So that's another little advantage on the UURIG cage. And another thing is that they add a little screw right here on the side that basically put pressure into the, what it could be the necklace mount. I don't know how to call this thing, but It basically cannot keep the cage in place without having the cage wiggle. And to be honest, it's not like the small rig cage have ever wiggled on me. Once you put it there, it stays there. And the same goes for these. They're both just very firm, they feel very solid. So that being said, there's just a few differences between one and the other one. So you may be wondering which one is better, the small rig or the UURIG cage. Well, the UURIG cage, it has a slightly better design, it's more comfortable in the hand, and it's 30% cheaper. Please subscribe to this channel, it will help me a lot if you do. This is Gabby from Ray Studios, till next time.